What's up, y'all? So check it out. I put together a little workout for you all. Really, it was for me, but you can see what I did. It's basically, I've only been in the gym now for about 3 weeks. Well, starting the third week, and the goal here right now is to really balance and get the stability back throughout the skeletal system and get it ready for real loads. So I really wanted to demonstrate how to work from the ground up with the inclusion of multiplanar rotational exercises, and then finishing out with one of my favorite lifts, the stiff leg deadlift. But you'll see how I kind of articulated some of the moves to create the greatest stability, and I highly encourage you to add it into your work. Remember, you don't need to go in the gym and go crazy until your body is ready. 2020. All right, so after we had a little, warm up, whatnot, we came in with our first weighted exercise. This is single leg step, high to low rotational movement with the cables. And this one here kind of stabilizes the torso and gets the legs to work through the torso. Also, if you're interested in getting rid of love handles, these movements here are great. I highly recommend you start adding some of these. But this isn't just throwing that weight around. Notice that those shoulders are not coming out of the shoulder girdle. If you feel your shoulders rising up, drop your shoulder blades down, get those elbows a little closer toward the sides of your body, and work your stability from that as you breathe deeper. All right, and this is from the other side, so you can get the other angle. Note that the elbows are more so drawn downward as opposed to outward. Using the outside palm hand grip to really initiate the push. And then on this one, that right glute is a stabilizer while the driving force is coming through the left leg. But yeah, keep that navel in toward the torso. Let's get some good rotations, y'all. Did these 2 sets each. I think I did like 15 reps a piece, 2 sets each one of these cable exercises. All right, here's the second movement here. I went to a lower plane, or more kind of, that's about just a little higher than navel height with these. Notice I still got that step there. Oftentimes, a lot of people just use the flat ground, but it's kind of a disservice, especially if you have a step near, because that step will get rid of your love handles. Just a side note. Yeah, and you got to really be mindful of your balance through your legs, because if you grip too hard in one or the other, you'll definitely notice it, and it'll try and throw your shoulders out of the girdles. So a nice large up body, and keep those lats working throughout your movements. If you don't feel your lats in the movement, you're not connected to your legs. Notice that forward head is not going forward. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more of a nice flowing body, keeping that energy inside the arms. And notice the elbows are still low, shoulder girdles low. Got the lats working, and then through the pelvis, we got everything rock and rolling. Just keep that navel below your navel drawn in. That way you can get to those love handles. Every repetition is not like, I gotta get this point here, I gotta get this point, because the body moves in so many different planes. No rep is absolutely perfect. The perfect rep is when you are connected. And you'll see how I'm switching up the dynamics here as I go from low to high. I start with a power push or a dynamic drive. These kind of things, when you add that explosiveness, gives that roundness and fullness effect to your muscles. So like, if you're a bodybuilder, it's good to add power movements in there so you can get that pop, and make sure your core is nice and stabilized. I like this one here because it really drives the front obliques. You can really get those down into the body, and ultimately it'll perfect your vacuum later. But that dynamic movement brings out the athletic appeal to a bodybuilder's body. So you're not just like a blocky build, rotations. I did the other side too, but I forgot to film it. All right, so in here, I'm doing shoulder raises. This is setting up for the stiff leg deadlift. So we got the torso intact. So now you notice I have the top of a deadlift, and you see my chest isn't lifted out. So I let the shoulders kind of round over in the back so I can get more real deltoids in on these lateral raises. Key point is to not jump out of that shoulder girdle with or to also not let your energy go at the top of the movement. You know, you want to keep all of that driven and compact in, so don't lose that rotational feel throughout your trunk torso as you get these raises through more so your rear delt, and then all the rest of the delts will benefit from these lateral raises. I started with 10 pounds. These are 15s. This one here, we are on 20s. You notice there's not a real big to get that weight out. You know, it's just a good, strong grind out. And we're working from the back forward, not from what you see in the mirror. I hate that it cut my face off so you can see like what I'm really doing. But the weights, you treat them with respect. And if they're not heavy enough for you, increase your grip through your palms and the pinky finger up, not from the trigger finger down. Your grip should come from the pinky finger up through the palms. And these legs again should feel like you're doing a stiff leg deadlift. The chest should not be risen. In fact, you should feel like your shoulders round over the front of your body so you can get those rear delts to initiate your lateral raises. Even more so than your lateral delts. You want those rear delts to initiate so you can get some good development in the front deltoids. Yeah, so we went up to 30 pounds on these. And as you can see, like the core is nice and stabilized. We're not getting out of control. When it gets heavy, just take a nice moment to breathe. This movement here, we did 2 sets of these in between because I did 2 rounds of those lateral raises, and then I did 2 of these. With these, it's important that you do not use your big toe to press up against that pad, or you'll end up using more of the small of your back. So think about using your pinky toes driven down onto that platform, and that'll help you activate more of your glutes to get a better glute raise, so you won't use that lower back, small of your back. Especially if you're working with clients, use that as your cue. Use those pinky toes up versus using your big toe down. Well, you want those pinky toes against that pad and drive from the pinkies to get your glute medes to activate. All right, and then last one here, we drive everything together. We had those stiff leg deadlifts, had the shoulder raises, and now as we lower down, you'll notice that those rear delts kind of bring that core strength down through those glute medes, and then run it all the way down through that posterior chain, you know. This way, you know, you didn't overstress anything. I did 5 sets of 5 here. Didn't go crazy. This is my favorite exercise. But if you did the things that we talked about, the rotations, all the way down to the baby toes, you'll be successful. 2020.